The movie begins with Jake Carter, a former U.S. Marine, waking up in the morning and getting ready to face the day ahead. He prepares himself methodically, following the habits of a disciplined soldier, shaving, getting dressed in uniform, and checking his gear. After suiting up, he picks up his weapon and heads out to work. Jake is currently employed at Hawthorne Global Security, a private security firm responsible for high-risk protection details. At the airport, Jake and the other security officers are stationed and awaiting the arrival of an important informant, known by the name Liv Tanis. Jake is approached and greeted by Robert Daniels, the head of the organization. Daniels congratulates Jake on his military accomplishments and the medals he's earned, acknowledging his valor and dedication. Since this is Jake's first official mission with the organization, Daniels emphasizes the importance of making a strong first impression. When the airplane lands, Jake is surprised to encounter his former Marine lieutenant, which adds an unexpected layer to the mission. He soon discovers that Liv Tanis, the woman they've been assigned to protect, holds sensitive and highly incriminating information vital to arresting the senior leadership of Genesis, a corporation under investigation for fraud and other criminal activities. As Liv steps off the aircraft, her guarded demeanor and sharp tongue become apparent. She immediately proves difficult to work with, prompting the lieutenant to issue a reminder to the team to exercise maximum caution while handling her. During the convoy en route to a secure location, Liv and Jake quickly butt heads. Their exchange is heated, filled with mutual distrust and tension. Neither of them realizes that they're on the brink of an ambush. Suddenly, a rocket launcher is fired at the lead vehicle in the convoy, causing a massive explosion. In a split-second reaction, the drivers attempt to reverse, but a second rocket hits the rear vehicle, effectively trapping the convoy. A team of heavily armed mercenaries emerges and opens fire on the SUV carrying Liv. Jake acts quickly, shouting for everyone to evacuate the vehicle. A brutal shootout erupts between the attackers and the security team. Jake shields Liv, taking out several of the assailants with skilled precision. Amid the chaos, Liv attempts to flee into the nearby woods. Determined to protect her, Jake pursues her into the forest. Meanwhile, the mercenaries, supported by a sniper, systematically eliminate the security guards. One by one, Jake's team is picked off. The mercenary leader, Vogel, instructs his men to locate Liv. Two of them spot her, but before they can act, Jake intervenes and shoots them dead. Despite her continuing suspicion of Jake's intentions, he insists she stays close if she wants to survive. The mercenaries sweep through the forest in search of the pair. Jake attempts to radio for help, but receives no response. Suddenly, more gunfire erupts. Grabbing Liv, Jake pulls her into cover, and the two narrowly escape by stealing a mercenary vehicle and speeding away toward a nearby safe house. Once they arrive at the hideout, Jake performs a tactical sweep of the house to ensure no intruders are inside. As he secures the location, Liv unexpectedly pulls out a revolver and aims it at him. She expresses her distrust, insisting she has no reason to believe him, while Jake calmly explains that if she tries to go to the authorities on her own, she'll walk into another ambush. He emphasizes that he's a former Marine and assures her his mission is to keep her safe. His honesty and calm demeanor slowly convince her, and after a brief moment of hesitation, she lowers the weapon and hands it over. Elsewhere, Vogel reviews Jake's file and informs his team that Jake and Liv are now alone, which he sees as both an opportunity and a threat. Back at the hideout, Liv washes up in the bathroom while Jake prepares weapons and scans the surveillance system. He spots a vehicle approaching. Two security officers, Nathan and Ethan, previously presumed dead, arrive, claiming they escaped the earlier attack without injury. Jake is immediately suspicious and begins to question them. Nathan gives a brief report on Vogel and the ambush, but before he can continue, Ethan suddenly pulls out a gun and executes Nathan, claiming there's a traitor among them. Jake realizes too late that Ethan is working with Vogel. Liv, witnessing the execution, grabs a weapon out of fear. Ethan then points his gun at Jake, demanding Liv's location. He explains that he preemptively attacked because he expected the traitor would arrive at the safe house. Jake distracts Ethan long enough for Liv to flee the house and trigger the security alarm. The sound distracts Ethan, giving Jake a chance to attack. A violent fight breaks out between the two. Ethan draws a knife and slashes at Jake, but Jake fights back. At that moment, the mercenaries arrive and surround the house. Jake breaks away, retrieves Liv's gun, and begins shooting at the incoming attackers. After taking out several enemies, he and Liv escape using a nearby boat. They travel downriver, finally disembarking and crossing a creek on foot. Jake, injured but determined, warns Liv that the mercenaries will keep coming until she's dead. Liv admits that she possesses evidence that could dismantle Genesis entirely and expose their role in the deaths of two U.S. Special Forces teams. Just as Jake prepares to continue, Liv knocks him unconscious with a rock and runs. A nearby mercenary later finds their abandoned boat but sees no sign of them. Liv hitchhikes on a road and convinces a truck driver to take her to the police station. Regaining consciousness, Jake follows the path she left behind. Spotting a police car, he steals a vehicle and pursues it toward the station. Meanwhile, Liv tells the police that she's being hunted. Jake arrives, but a suspicious officer takes his ID and instructs him to wait. Inside, Liv explains everything to Detective Redman. As Redman approaches Jake, he claims the department will take over the case. Liv feels uneasy and tries to leave, but another officer blocks her path. Just then, Redman receives a call from Ethan, who claims Jake is a dangerous fugitive responsible for the attacks. He says he works for the government and urges the department to arrest both Jake and Liv. They are arrested. Soon, Ethan and Vogel's mercenaries arrive at the police station. Vogel instructs Ethan to go in alone and keep things clean, but then follows with his men anyway. Inside, they begin slaughtering officers and staff. Amid the chaos, Jake grabs the handcuff key from a fallen officer and frees both himself and Liv. He arms himself and shoots multiple attackers before ushering Liv outside and telling her to contact the Attorney General. He then goes back in to assist the remaining officers. The surviving agents attempt to flee, but 4 are gunned down inside their patrol car. Vogel fires a grenade launcher at Jake, stunning him. Jake recovers, eliminates 2 more attackers, and escapes with Liv, who returns in a stolen car to retrieve him. Their car is pursued by the mercenaries. During the chase, Vogel fires and hits Jake in the arm. Jake manages to shoot the driver of a pursuing vehicle, blocking the tunnel and stalling Vogel's team. They flee into a forest when their car overheats. Vogel wants to follow, but Ethan suggests they wait until morning. That night, Liv tends to Jake's wound. She apologizes for not trusting him sooner. She also gives him the access code to the files that incriminate Genesis, just in case she doesn't survive. The next day, they wander the woods looking for a signal to call the Attorney General but fail to find one. Jake tells Liv she should escape alone, but she refuses, choosing to stay and fight. In the forest, the mercenaries advance. Ethan receives orders from Genesis to kill Liv immediately. Jake calls Vogel on the radio to distract him, then snipes several mercenaries, triggering a firefight. Jake flees, drawing them into a trap. Liv also engages, splitting their focus. Jake sneaks up behind some mercenaries and kills them silently. Meanwhile, one attacker chasing Liv steps into a trap Jake set earlier. Jake and Liv regroup and flee again. They are briefly spotted and chased. One trap nearly kills Vogel but instead kills another mercenary. Ethan argues that Jake likely filled the forest with traps, but Vogel insists on continuing. Jake and Liv separate, and Jake covers her escape. More mercenaries are killed by traps. One female mercenary confronts Jake, leading to hand-to-hand combat. Jake kills her by using her as a shield. Then Ethan finds Liv and takes her hostage. She smashes his hand and escapes. Jake and Ethan fight. Ethan nearly strangles Jake, but Liv returns and shoots Ethan in the head. Vogel appears and shoots Jake in the shoulder. He knocks Jake out and forces Liv to follow him. As they move, she reveals she already leaked the Genesis files online. Furious, Vogel strikes her. Suddenly, Jake regains consciousness and attacks. A final fight breaks out. Vogel appears to win, but Jake surprises him, and in a brutal move, snaps his neck. The next day, Liv prepares to board a plane. She tells Jake that 6 Genesis officials have been indicted for conspiracy and treason. She thanks him, gives him a tuxedo, and kisses him on the cheek before boarding. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.